We have with us Ron Kaufman, founder and director, Up Your Service, a change maker. Ron, would you like to share something about yourself?
I'm based in Singapore, and I've been there for the past 30 years. And my whole life is really dedicated to traveling around the world, working with organizations, working with students, working with educational institutions to uplift the spirit of service, the quality of service, and the practice of service everywhere in the world.
So, what is the role of services in the currently changing environment in different industries?
Yeah, the phenomenon of service itself speaks to the experience that the other person is receiving from the actions that you take. So that could be in a B2C environment where the consumer or the customer or the guest or the member is the direct recipient of the service. But it's also very much in the B2B world. So in logistics and manufacturing and in all kinds of other areas, there's still a client, maybe a client organization, a purchasing department, another step along the production side, where that is a form of service. It's action that creates value for somebody else. And that's the definition of service that we created.
So, how has it changed over a period of years, like let's say from a decade ago?
Yeah, when you say the service industry, we have to understand every industry today is a service industry. That's the big change, is that there's so much commoditization, there's so much competition, there's so much globalization. Now that so many things are in the cloud, they're universally available. So how do you differentiate and make more valuable the offer that you provide compared to somebody else? And that has to do with not what you say is valuable, but what the recipient, the other person, appreciates as value. Now, what that means is that all service providers need to become a lot more focused on and curious about the person they're serving. What is it that they want? What do they need? What do they prefer? What do they value? And not so much, who are we? What do we have? What are we selling? What do we offer?
So, how difficult or easy it is to understand consumer behavior in this aspect?
Well, I mean, that's the beauty of what's happening also with technology, is that in the past, it's like, oh my gosh, it's changing so fast. How do we know? Yeah, but today you can know. So much is available in terms of insight and data that can be then analyzed and turned into knowledge. And then you can literally be able to serve somebody in sort of a one-to-one, hyper-personalized manner that was never possible before. Before, it had to go through the factory, and then this was what it looked like, and everybody bought the same thing. Maybe it came in 3 colors. Today, we can personalize and tweak something for you so that it really matches what you've already demonstrated through your prior behavior to be your preferences. And even then, we can give you a certain kind of flexibility so that you can pull from the system exactly what it is that will serve you best in that moment.
What are the skill sets required for somebody to join such an organization?
Well, let's say, I mean, the organization is global. Right? I'm going to, instead of the organization, it's like, how about just the future of business?
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, let's talk about everybody globally, worldwide. What are the skill sets? And there's really 2. One of them, a lot of the conversations here at the conference are about that, is what's going on in technology? How is everything becoming more digital? What's the convergence or the confluence, if you will? And how do I prepare to be a competent player in that? And so I've got to learn, how to relearn. I can't be afraid of the digital environment. I've got to learn how to collaborate more effectively with others who have skill sets I don't have, and then essentially ride and support and continue to develop that technical wave. That's the technical side. Yeah? That is going to become better and faster and cheaper and more widely available. Yeah? I mean, to the point where it's largely going to be free. For example, today you can have a video call in real time with 10 people simultaneously all over the world, and it won't cost you a penny. Right, I remember when I was a child, I used to run to get my father, it's a long distance call, because you knew somebody was actually, paying more money just to even talk, right? Okay, so the whole tech side of business, of life, is going to continue to accelerate that way. And there are certain skills that anyone needs to become proficient in order to feel competent and fluent and able to generate value. Yeah? That's one side. The other side is really the more humane side. This is the phenomenon of human care. This is the intimacy, if you will. This is the genuine personal attention. Or if we really want to be extravagant, you can say this is where love lives. So you have tech and you have love. Now, you can say, well, I'm going to be very good at this, but if you're ignorant on this, then you actually become somebody that can be replaced by a machine. The intelligence over here and the ability to get better and better and better, let the machines do that. That's what AI and machine learning and robotics is all about. But this side is going to become ever more unique, valuable, appreciated and a real point not only of differentiation when you're serving a customer or a client, but also a point of differentiation when you're being chosen for promotion or for leadership within a team, etc.
So it's the softer skills which are ultimately going to matter more.
And it's not only the leadership level, even for organizations. So for example, if you look at some very large organizations today, and they get very big because the tech is beautiful, but then they get into wobbles because they do something and people go, how could you do that? And all of a sudden, boom, billions of dollars in stock value evaporates because the world goes, now hold on a second. We admire what you did with tech, but if that's all you did and you don't have the ethics, you don't have the devotion to the genuine well-being of the community because you're so busy saying we're going to harvest the money, that we can move because your alternative to you or your competitor can also emerge very quickly.
So it's like no matter how much technology advances, no matter how much we have innovations there, but at the end of the day, it's still the human touch and the skill set that is.
As it was at the beginning of the day, in the middle of the day, towards the end of the day, and always will be. Now, we live at a time when technology's emergence has been so fascinating and distracting, as we see now with kids completely distracted, to the point where the appropriate attention on human interaction and well-being is kind of gone away. But now people are saying, hold on a second, I don't actually like the life that this has produced. I actually feel now disconnected even from the people who are my neighbors whose names I don't know. And we realized, wouldn't it be a healthier neighborhood, actually, if we all... Now, the beauty is that as tech right now is escalating so quickly, so powerfully, it will enable this in ways like never before. But it's the humans, it's us, that need to say, you know what, I actually appreciate this. I value this. I want this. I'm going to support this. I'm going to invest in this, not only with my money, but with my life.
What's the big question?
The big question is, how do we as a species evolve who and how we are in this unique ecology called planet Earth, right? And I think there's actually a wonderful thing happening right now that's going to cause us as communicating beings to be able to do something we have never really done before. And so you hear people talk about climate change with a tremendous amount of fear. And it's well grounded because it's going to dramatically and drastically impact people all over the world. It already is. But we're seeing right now, in this era at this time, that humanity is starting to say, wait a minute, we need to make the most powerful actors in the world fully accountable and responsible for the impact that they're having on this thing that we all share. And so you're getting some of the largest organizations on the planet who are now not only declaring, look, whatever the politicians may say, we're going to commit to certain climate goals. And we're going to tie all executive compensation to our performance on the goals. So it's not just a declaration. It's got to be actual performance. Now, and why are they doing that? Because young people don't want to work at an organization that isn't doing it. Investors don't want to put their money or get returns from an organization that isn't doing it. And this is going to be global. Now, this is going to give us an opportunity to learn, hey, guys, we got to take care of what we all share. Absolutely. Well, the other thing we all share is all of us being here. So when you look at a country like India with hundreds of millions of children who aren't being educated well yet, or you look at a continent like Africa where the population is going to continue to expand, but where's the educational provision, right? We just have not yet tasked ourselves with, or the algorithms for AI, to be able to say, look, here's the outcome we want to achieve. Healthy well-being for the ecology that we all share 2, 3, 4 generations from now, which means you can't leave anybody out because they're part of what's impacting the experience of life. And so I'm a great optimist, as you can tell. And I think that we have exactly the moment right now to each one of us be fascinated and delighted about how humanity is evolving.
That's true. And at the end of the day, we all are interconnected. So it's important that we do have that inclusive approach of involving like everybody, not just few people or few countries or pockets of a certain country.
That's right.
That's really amazing.
And each and every individual is actually responsible then for, so what do I do with my time? What do I do today? What do I do with my life? Yeah, and it doesn't have to be these grand, heal the planet schemes. It could be as intimate as someone just brought me a cup of coffee. Do I say, thanks? Or do I say, thank you, I appreciate that? And make the eye contact with a genuine smile that makes that person feel better, who then takes it to someone else, who brings it to their family, we can all do this.
Yes, we can. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Pleasure to be with you.
Yeah, thank you so much.